and I will be talking about staying youth until 21 and underage drinking, the effects that it has on teenagers. The problem of underage drinking is not a new phenomenon. Rather, it is a problem for some time now. Research shows that that alcohol is very easy to get for many teenagers. This is very disturbing and alarming and needs to be put to a stop. Underage drinking and not waiting until the age of 21 has been a very controversial issue in America. Some aspects of underage drinking are the effects on teenagers, underage drinking, and the laws that have been put in place to save teen lives. The effects that underage drinking has on teenagers are endless. There are so many reasons those teenagers should not drink. The first point is the effect that it actually has on the teenage body when you're drinking underage. As a teenager's brain is still developing stages, there is a greater risk of short-term and long-term memory loss. The brain does not stop growing until you're in your 20s. The brain can be greatly affected by underage drinking. Underage drinking can also cause harm to the central nervous system. When this system is depressed, it stimulates the part of the brain that contributes the inhibitor. Also, the age of drinking begins often affects future drinking problems. The liver is also affected by teenage drinking. When drinking as a teen, liver enzymes are elevated, meaning that you will have a great degree of liver damage. It also affects the growth of the glands in the body. When young men or women go through puberty, a lot of changes are taking place in the body. Hormones are raging and changing, and alcohol only adds to the situation. These very well upset the hormone balance that is needed for the organs, muscles, and also the bones. Drinking during the teens produces a greater chance for developing alcoholism later on in life. The longer a person can delay when they drink alcohol, they will be saving lives by many of years for themselves by not developing health problems later on in life. And the second point is dealing with underage drinking and the effect on teenagers on drinking and driving in America. Around 1,900 deaths each year are caused by underage drinking and driving. Young people are more likely to have alcohol-induced impairments of driving than adults, according to research. 16 to 21-year-olds are twice as likely to be involved in fatal accidents as drivers who are 21 years and older. Drinking and driving does not go together. Teens take a huge risk of hurting themselves or others when they do this. Roy Royston's 17-year-old son was walking his girlfriend home after studying at the library. As they were walking, they were struck by a 19-year-old drunk driver. Her son's girlfriend died because of the drunk driver who had just left a friend's house after partying and drinking on his way home. Her son lived but only a short road and had a long road of recovery after the accident, mentally and physically. In 2008, a survey was taken that reported 16% of 8th graders had drunk in the past 30 days, and 44% of high schoolers students said the same thing. When statistics like these are shown to someone, you would think that these numbers are outrageous. In reality, they aren't. Underage drinking is becoming more and more common in this day and time. People just do not see why it is important for a drinking age to be what it is. My third point is that underage drinking increases the thought of suicide in students. Students show that there are 300 deaths every year due to teenage suicides dealing with drinking. They are also twice as likely to think of committing suicide as students who do not drink at all. When a person waits till they are 21 to begin drinking, they are more mature and less likely to make unwise decisions. The final point that I will be making is underage drinking and the effects on teenagers that most students do not think when they are underage, and that they are also likely to perform lower in schools and then other than people who do not drink. Further than when teenagers drink and go to school, they are more likely to get in trouble and will be more likely to end up quitting school later on due to their grades. There are all sorts of effects on underage drinking. The second point I would like to make is how the laws dealing with underage drinking has changed since the 1900s. In the early 1900s, they banned the manufacturing, sale, and transporting of any kind of alcohol. The governor ratified the amendment in 1999 and later on in 1993 and placed restrictions on possession and consumption of alcoholic beverages by youth, and non-commercial provision of alcohol by youth and adults become a normal thing. When in the 1970s, because of the Vietnam War, 29 states lowered their drinking age down to 18, since that was the age that they could vote and now fight war. Teens felt that they should be able to drink also. North Carolina was one of the 29 states that lowered their drinking age to 18. Additionally, in states that still had their drinking age of 21, they had what they call blood borders, and they crossed the borders in the other states to drink. In North Carolina in 1983, they increased the age from 18 to 19. And then in 1984, due to these blood borders, they put the age back at 21 because of the mass number of underage drinkers who were going back to their states after drinking and would be involved in collisions and die on their way home. On July 17, 1884, President Ronald Reagan agreed that the national drinking age should be 21. Then the Uniform Drinking Age Act was signed by all states to adopt this law. By 1988, all the states in the U.S. had set the drinking age back to 21. By passing this law, 900 lives were saved each year. 25,000 people are alive today because of the law being set at 21 and not 18. By enforcing this law, it helps us keep teens and others on the road safe. Research shows that when a teen drives, they are more likely to act. When a teen drives, they don't know how to act and stop like a mature person does. Teens also get drunk twice as fast as older individuals. When this happens in the 1970s, all the 18-year-olds did was take the new law and they ran with it. If the lawmakers decided to put the age back 18, it would be a reoccurring event and that can be prevented. Lives are not saved every day by the age of staying at 21. Now the military branches say that the soldiers should be under the age of 21, should be able to drink as long as they are able to control their situation, and that they are not getting drunk for any reason. In addition, many parents believe that it's okay for their underage child to drink as long as they are supervised. The teenagers are breaking the law, and they are going to be involved in such those activities. The parents need to know that all problems come along when they start letting their teens drink. They are breaking the law and it needs to stop. By making these laws tighter, this can be stopped, and the age of 21 is just not a random number. It has been put in place for a reason. So by parents going out and buying underage teens alcohol, they are doing nothing but teaching them bad habits and also endangering their future. Underage drinking is 100% preventable. However, it is the job of not only nonprofit organizations, but the individuals of the communities in America to come together and put a stop to underage drinking once and for all. This has been a comprehensive review of all the effects of underage drinking and the effects that it can have on teenagers. It can be a serious topic, but it involves the health and the well-being of so many. It's now time to act upon it. Will you help me stop underage drinking? Thank you for your time. Are there any questions? Yes.
Is texting while driving just as bad as drinking while driving?
Well, they are both very harmful to the driver, and they both impair your vision, very much so. As you're looking down at a cell phone to text, you're not keeping your eyes on the road. And after you have been drinking and driving, when I was in high school, we had, right before prom, we had to wear those beer goggles. And a girl actually was on a golf cart and flipped it over because of the beer goggles, like she couldn't see. So that, is proof that drinking and driving does affect you very much so, and texting and driving is just as bad. Is there any other questions? Okay. And these are the sources that I used, that I got all the information from. Causes, risk, and prevention of underage drinking, education, dangers of teen drinking, highlights of underage drinking, Roy Brinson, underage drinking, Y21 from MAD.org, and Y21 also from MAD.org. Thank you.